There's a simple way to know exactly which channel is bringing you leads instead of guessing at both and staying stuck on the content hamster wheel of doom. I'm Ashley Clayton, marketing ecosystem strategist and founder of Iteratology. I help service providers, coaches, and consultants like you learn where your leads are actually coming from instead of guessing or hoping that someone fills out your "How did you hear about me?" survey. By the end of this video, you'll know the simple mechanism that tells you exactly which channel is bringing you leads, and you'll be able to start using it today with no technical background or new software required. Before we get into it, I do have a free 8-day email course called Metrics That Talk Back that goes deeper into what to do with this data once you have it. The link is in the description. You can grab it now or come back for it at the end. Either way, it's going to be there when you're ready. If I asked you right now where your last 5 to 10 leads came from, what would you say? Go ahead and actually let me know in the comments with just one word of whatever the platform is or however you want to note that. Because for most service providers, the answer usually sounds something like, I think Instagram, maybe it was referral, and someone probably just got it from my newsletter. But that's not really tracking that we can trust. It's more of a hedged bet that you're staking your business on that's framed as an answer, even if it might be the only answer available to you because you don't yet have a marketing attribution set up to automatically capture and pass along that information to your backend systems like your email service provider or customer relationship management tool, or even your broader measurement systems if you have those set up. And very briefly, if you haven't heard of marketing attribution or haven't heard what I'm about to describe referred to that way, it is kind of more of an industry term. What it means is it's essentially assigning what effort gets credit for bringing you the lead, client, or sale. Different marketing channels and tactics are going to play different roles in your ecosystem, and something called UTM parameters are one of the keys to unlocking knowing what's working in your marketing. If you've never heard of a UTM before today, or maybe if you have heard of it about them and wondered what they are and what they do, I do a video that goes deeper into details on that, and I will link to it below. But for right now, the quick version is that there are small tags that you can add to your links that supply your analytics systems, your email service provider, and your CRM with exactly the information that you're going to want to know about how someone found your offer. Let me go ahead and actually pull up the example that I've got so you can see this as we talk through it. What you'll do with UTM parameters is you essentially attach them to the version of your link that you're going to post on, say, Instagram. This example is on YouTube, and this is actually how I UTM the links that are here for that go back directly to my site or to my lead magnet. The URL here would be changing. So this is a naked link, basically. This isn't going to give you any of the information or pass back anything to your systems. This is a link that you would share, again, outside your website that has information that's going to tell your measurement systems this click came from my brand reach campaign. It came from YouTube and it was organic. I didn't pay for this traffic. And so this is how you get that rich information of exactly how your leads are getting to you. What you'll do is for each channel, you would change out. So for example, if I was sharing this to Instagram, I would just change YouTube to Instagram. And so that's how those work. What they do is it attaches the data to the link so that way you know if somebody clicked on something from your email newsletter, because your email is external to your site. Not tagging links means that all of the traffic that you get from your email campaigns and all of those efforts that I know that you're putting in, they get attributed to the direct channel, which is what Google puts anything into. They're like, we don't know where this came from, so we're going to assume that they knew about your site and went directly to it. So it actually means that without UTMs, email is going to be an invisible channel if you don't tag your links. And what this does is it keeps you from polling everyone and asking in every conversation, how did you find me? You can still absolutely do that because that's still some good data to have, because how people find you versus how they remember that they found you versus asking how they found the thing totally different questions. But all of those, when you survey, you're relying on the human memory to come up with the answer. And we all know that that's not always the most reliable. But if that's what you've been doing, like, I want to cheer you on because that's awesome. Because again, some data is always going to be better than none. The goal is getting trusted data that lets you say, I know that this marketing channel is bringing me my best leads versus I think this channel's working. I don't know. So with that, I go into a video where we go into these more deeply, but for right now, when I say UTMs, they're also called parameters. So UTM tags or parameters, I'm going to be talking about making your links look like this versus just sharing a naked link online. I'll link the video below that goes more into detail on how to create these links, because what matters today and what I'm covering here is what having them in place actually gets you, because a tagged link only will do its job if these two things are true. One, you're using it consistently on places away from your website instead of just that naked link. Two, you have something on the other end that can catch that information so you can review it later. Gathering any piece of data for your business only works if you have some reliable way of capturing it or catching it on the other end, so that way you can track it over time. The easiest and most common tool for this is going to be Google Analytics. Email service providers like Kit or MailerLite and others have this as well, and CRMs will sometimes pick this up automatically, though some do require a bit more setup to connect the dots. You could even have this right now and not know where to look. What I would do is check with your email service provider or CRM directly for the best answer to where this information lives if they actually catch it for you. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you where it lives in Google Analytics. So what you're seeing here is my UTM tagged link. I've got UTM campaign equals test, UTM medium equals test, UTM source equals test. You can put whatever you want in these. This is just what I'm using just to show it as an example. And so using the debug view that's in Google Analytics, I can see that where the session started, so where the visit come from. Oh, I'm sorry, page view is under page view. It does capture this behind the scenes, but you can also have it sent through with this. So if I look at campaign, I can see that it matches test. If I look at medium, it also matches test. And if I look at source, it also matches test. So this is Google grabbing that information based on my page view. So what does it do once it has this? Well, there's two places that this lives. There is the user acquisition report, which tells you where people are first finding you. So this is the first time they're new to Google. If somebody clears the cookies, this resets. But this is a way you can see of if I'm looking strictly at my metrics that talk back offer, I can see that. Actually, let's just filter down to that so we can look just through that lens. I can see that there's 4 different places that I'm promoting this currently or have in the last year. So I'm looking at year to date from when I'm making this video. With Kit, I had 1 person that came from that. YouTube, I've had 2. Threads, I've had 4, and then I've had a speaking engagement that has brought me, 13, which is really cool. But I know all of this because I have the links that I gave, especially for the speaking event. I gave them links that were tagged so I would know exactly where these people came from. The other one is traffic. So this is more on the visit side of it. We'll filter down to this so that way it's very clear. And we can see that the numbers are slightly different because these are people that have either been returning. This is specifically the visit versus where did Google first see this particular person come from. That is how it gets used in your Google Analytics when you use them, is you can pull them in these different acquisition reports as well. Where do these live? For me, I have a tool that I use called UTM.io. You don't have to use it. You can use a spreadsheet, but you can see that I have all of these links that I've built, and then depending on where they get shared, Medium here being Medium, the publishing platform, not to be confused with the other kind, but YouTube, my email signature. It's important to UTM that and other places that I have been as well. And so that is how I use the UTMs. And they aren't limited just to digital channels only. I've actually used them to set up a way to track visits from in my career from cable and TV broadcasts, ads, TV spots, usually via like a lower third graphic, which is usually the line of stuff that goes underneath the person that tells you who they are and all of that, and special short links as well, and including in direct mail either a graphic or one of the special short links, so that when somebody sees a segment or they open a letter and wanted to respond online instead of mailing something back or calling in, we could still see the work that offline channel, if you will, was doing to contribute towards the business goals. So bringing back to you is like, where can you start? I want to warn you, don't be tempted to go down a huge rabbit hole like I've done in the past and try to tag absolutely everything at once. What's best is to first focus on tagging your email signature in your links to your website. And so you've got your signature and it'll usually have your website on there. Tag that. You don't want to just copy and paste because you want it to just say your website, but the link that's behind there, absolutely you can UTM that. If you want maybe another place, if you have the link that you share to your website in your social media bios, absolutely UTM tag that for whichever individual platform it is. If you're using something like Linktree, I have a whole other video I want to get into on that. It's a little bit trickier because if all of your Facebook, your Instagram, your TikTok or whatever are all going to that same link tree, the link tree is going to be the one getting the credit sending stuff to your site and you won't know it's social. So if you want me to do a deep dive on how to fix that, let me know in the comments as well. And so your email signature, your link in bio, or you can even do it with your main lead magnet that you're promoting right now, or the one that if you've got multiple has the highest opt-in rate. That's what I just showed you with my metrics that talk back. You can watch the next video in this playlist that's going to cover how to create those links. And I recommend giving those links at least 30 days to start gathering data because that will give you a more trustworthy picture than someone's memory of how they originally wound up on your list 6 months before they even booked that sales call with you, if they even remember. And if you're using Google Analytics, there might be one more step that you'll need to do if it's not already configured in your current setup to track your leads. That's going to be covered in another video that will also be linked down below. Even if you don't have this set up, just knowing how people are finding your opt-in paths will still give you enough information on where to focus when you're in list growth mode for your business. And once you can see which channel is actually working and doing the heavy lifting, the next question is, what do you do with that information? And that's exactly what Metrics That Talk Back walks you through. It's my free 8-day email course built around the categories of marketing data that matter to a business like yours. And visibility into what marketing channels are working for you is contained within the first lesson in the series, just a lot deeper than I go into here and on my channel. The link is going to be in the description below and also in the pinned comment. And if you want a full breakdown of how to build a UTM tag from scratch using the 3 core parameters you need to get started, that will also be in the description below, or it'll probably be right up here at this point. And you can also please subscribe for updates, like this video, share it, because we've got other videos that are coming up that will help you start building measurement literacy and start to trust and understand your data and what it's trying to tell you about the other half of the marketing conversation that your audience is having within your marketing ecosystem, because that's how you're going to be able to scale and grow your business long term.